G'day, this is Thomas for Waranta, kani, mapali. I haven't got Rob here tonight. He's a busy man again. Um, we haven't done an interview episode for quite a while. There's been plenty of people asking, but there hasn't been heaps of people that we've wanted to speak to. And now we do have a person that we've been keeping an eye on, both me and Rob. And he's been a busy, busy man, and that is Mr. Ashley Smith. Do you want to introduce yourself a bit there, man?
How you going, guys? So I'm Ashley Smith. I'm about 34 from Tassie, of course. I run Breaking the Cycle Tassie, but my hometown is Launceston. I was born in Launceston.
Nice. And that's where we'll start. You've got a very detailed story. We'd be here
Yeah.
forever trying to go into it. You know, we've got somewhat ties. We've known each other for a couple of years over the net, and it's been the last few months when you've come down here that we've finally met properly and caught up a few times. Um, you've grown up around some of my family, and
Yeah,
yeah, you've
definitely.
exactly. And you've got a very detailed story. So I think we'll start from the beginning. You've sort of said where you're from. So we'll just start with there and point out where you grew up.
Yeah. So actually, I grew up in Bridgewater, but I think I was about two or one when I moved to Launceston. My mum brought me up Launceston, try to give me a fresh start kind of thing. Um, but yeah, kind of grew up in Rochely. Till I was about 14, I think it was. And then, yeah, we moved to Punchbowl, which is the house that we got evicted from. Talk a bit more a bit later.
Yeah, we'll go into that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you've given your basics there, and you don't have to go right into all those stories. It goes too far sometimes, as we know.
yeah,
But
definitely.
one of the things that you've been really open about, which is sort of what caught my eye, and it's what I like when people come out of afflictions, and they're open about it. They don't bullshit. They speak how it is, and I think the more open you are, the easier it is to really get past those things. So, do you want to let us know what sort of set you off, I guess, on the things that you've done, and then you can mention a few things to people, within reason, that people might need to hear and might help them get over their issues, and also what's pushed you past that cycle onto recovery.
Course. So, look, I started drinking, when I was like 15. Um, by the time I was 16, man, I was a full blown alcoholic, shaking with the DTs. Um, I couldn't complete school because of my alcohol addictions. Um, look, I didn't have a bad upbringing. I wouldn't say that, I was around, like the hood people, my cousins and whatnot. But I suppose, once I got to about, 18, 19, I started hanging around with more criminal kind of people, some people I look up to, and it kind of just spiraled out of control, then. But I think what I really want to talk more about is when I was 25, I had a family, had my daughter, and then when all that shit come crashing down, when I was about 25, 26, 25, that's when it got real bad, man. Like I relapsed on the ice, and I just went full blown into my addiction. Like it was very bad. But yeah, it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. Um, I'd end up doing 5 prison sentences. Multiple rehabs. Um, mental health wards, trying to deal with that. And then I think it was about when I was 27. So I witnessed my mum stab my dad 3 times. And 3 years after that, I was about 30, I think I was 31 or something. Um, yeah, I witnessed her stab him again. So, and that's kind of once it got to the kind of the deep end, man, our house of what 18, 19 years got taken away from us. It was a housing commission house. And yeah, we ended up Mum was in prison, of course, and I was trying to stay out of trouble, man, but you know, stay out of trouble for a few weeks, kind of thing. It wasn't nothing what I'm doing now, but yeah, I ended up homeless. My dad went to my sister's. I was literally on the street, man, homeless in my own hometown. And that was the most shittest feeling ever, man. Especially walking around some nights when I couldn't get into the homeless shelter. I'm literally walking around in my own hometown going, what the fuck? Like, and it brought up so many memories of just growing up there. And I'm like, fuck, I never thought I would have literally nowhere to go, and that's when, I had severe alcohol addictions and drug addictions before that, but that's when it went kind of to the next level, where I was drinking like 6-7 liters of goon a day, wine in a box. I was drinking hand sanitizer, man. It was messed up, man. Like, it was messed up. I tried to, I had a lot of trauma, stuff with my dad, I mean, my daughter, um, you know, stuff with my mum and that, and I couldn't cope. I did not know how to control my emotions. I just went on a warpath, man. I really did. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't good, man. But I decided, after about 9 months, I suppose, being homeless and the housing unit we got kicked out of, it was still empty, man. It was still empty. I had so much fucking trauma. It doesn't give me an excuse to go do it, but I broke in there, set it alight, and tried to kill myself in a house fire. And I kind of ended it there. You know what I mean? It just all got too much for me, man. Um, I was lucky. Yeah, I was lucky I didn't get a lot of time for that. That's when I kind of turned my life around. I got bailed. My dad got me in surety, got me out of there. And I thought, fuck, I can't stuff up anymore. My old man's just put up in surety for me. You can't let him lose everything. And that's when I kind of pulled my head in and go, I've got to do something now. I've got to change my life around. Like, it's not getting any better. Yeah, my dad put me up at his house. Sadly, I had an overdose. After that, about 90 pills, man, of Seroquel um, so it was Seroquel and Catapris, yeah. So it's a heart medication and a sleeper kind of thing. Yeah, it was, and then it's kind of when I woke up in the hospital bed and I'm like, fuck, things really have to change now. I've Something's got to give. I've got to do something. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on to a way better path, man. Way better path now. It's really good.
You are.
Yeah.
And, you know, as I said, you've grown up around that way there with a number of people, and I think we're safe to say it, like my sister in particular, you've known up there,
Definitely.
and others.
A lot of drinking
And
sessions with her.
yeah, and a lot of those people have taken note of what you've done as well, and it's helping them to an extent as well. Some of them are coming out of it. My sister's doing all right at the moment.
Yeah,
Um,
it's awesome.
Number of other people as well, and I think the big thing that they've taken on is the fact that you're so willing these days to go and help people that are on the streets and talk to people that are afflicted, similar to what you've been through, and you're helping them. You're actually going out of your way. You're almost putting yourself at risk sometimes. There's been a few times where I'm like, "Damn, Ash, I don't know if I'd be down there," but
Yeah.
you've got the will and the balls to go and do that. You've done it across Launceston and Hobart. I guess a question I have is what drives you to want to better the experience for others?
Well, I suppose because I've actually been there, man, like sleeping in the gorge in a tent. I remember one night, man, I was in a swag and it was pissing down, and it was just the moisture. Tassie's cold. It's very cold being homeless here. And my mate was, in the swag with me, and we had to kind of huddle up. It was stuff to like survive, man. We had to keep warm. It was hell, man. I've actually been in really shitty situations, being homeless. I suppose because I've been there and I know what it's like, and I've been around it. Like I used to drink a lot in Princess Square in a park in Launceston, and even before I was homeless, man, I used to go there drinking. I've been around all this for years, so it's kind of just normal to me, bro. To me, I feel like they're my people. You know what I mean? Like I've been around it. It's just a normal thing to me. So when people like on Examiner page, and I'll say, where are these guys? They go, please be careful. It's like, that's all sweet. Like I know, I know that was me. That was me. Yeah. So it's kind of normal for me. Where for other people, it's just not. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to help people, man, because I know you can turn your life around. Like I come from a very shitty life of just doing nothing all my life and just drinking and using drugs and crime and everybody looking down at me, thinking I was just scum, man, and I know people can come back from shit, it's so hard, but it's very possible. So I just want to help the youth, man, and help the homeless, bro. There's actually one thing I just thought about before I got on the podcast, actually. Um, when I was in the homeless shelter, I was kind of, I was selling a lot of drugs, man. I was in the deep of it, you know, kind of had a few people behind my back, and a couple of them were young ones, man. They were about 18, and I thought to myself just then, I'm like, fuck, you know, when I was younger, you look up to these people, these older criminals, and you kind of want to be like them. And I was that older person,
Yep.
and now these younger ones are trying to look up to me and want to be like me. And I sit there now and I'm like, fuck, I kind of reached that level of these young ones were looking up to me for the wrong reasons, definitely for the wrong reasons. So now I just want to be positive, to help these people. But yeah,
Yep. And we've seen that, for years. And that's where we sort of get up to what you've called your, I guess it's an organization, for what it's doing.
yeah,
It's an organization, I guess. You've started this movement, called Breaking the
movement,
Cycle
yeah,
Tassie. That's probably the better word for it, isn't it?
yeah, movement.
With that, as you were saying there, younger people looking up to older people, that are, probably doing that sort of stuff. And I'm not going to go into where I come from, but most people that have been where you've been know who my father is. So, um,
Definitely, mate, definitely.
you hear this stuff, and I hear people all the time looking up to, stuff that he done. And even he himself, before he passed away, would say, I don't know why. And you're looking at it as you've done this stuff, and now you want to get past it and have people looking at you for the right reasons. And I really appreciate that. So, with the movement Breaking the Cycle Tassie, what are your objectives with the movement, or what are your plans?
Um, I haven't really thought of much. Like, of course, I would love to run more youth events. At the moment, I'm running the event I've got going on. So it's got a few rappers, graffiti artists doing, a live display. I have a hairdresser involved. She actually's got a saloon in Risdale. She's going to come do free haircuts. Got a free barbecue. I actually have a youth member from Launceston. He's pretty young, and he was like kind of trapped in the scene too, but he got out at a young age. So I've got him as a guest speaker just to give a bit of inspiration to other youths that have been stuck. He actually had a mate who just died actually on a motorbike accident, 17. So he's going to talk a little bit about that. And yeah, it's just kind of, I'd love to go into prisons, bro. I'd love to go into Risdon and have a chat with the boys, and even because I know a lot of them, man, you know, and I'm sure some will be proud and some will be like that, But yeah, it's pretty good though, man. Like I do get people now that done a lot of time in jail, and they're like, "You're doing awesome, bro. Like we got your back," and it's good, man. But yeah, probably just going to prisons, do rehabilitation courses, and do more for the youth, and of course my outreach for the homeless. You know, it's kind of my vision, man, just to make it into something big. Just yeah, but at the moment I'm just seeing where it's going. But I'm gonna do this event in Hobart, and then hopefully if this one goes well, I'll go to Launceston and do one in December. Just go around Tassie, man, and do events and yeah.
Cool. Well, it is needed, I think. You know, not just from my aspect where I'm looking at it from the Aboriginal aspect of things where we have next to nothing at the moment for youth. You know, it doesn't matter who the organization is, there's no funding and there's not enough people, especially with lived experience that are willing or that even can come in and have these sorts of conversations and talk about this stuff. But when you look at the greater community, there's really nothing. There's some stuff where, you know, the churches are involved. That's great, and I appreciate everything they do, but not everyone can bring themselves to go in and go through that aspect of things. You know, be born again or even just attend. I went to church as a kid. Going now, I don't think I could handle it. Um, and I know a lot of people can't. I know people that have been through those rehabs just outside of Lonnie there, where you're expected to go through all of that religious stuff, and it makes it so hard when you have someone who's
Yeah.
got that lived experience. They're known. They can put a face to the name and to the story. I think it's needed. So that's the other reason I really look at what you're doing as bigger than probably what you even think, because there's just none of it's happening. I can go in and talk to someone. They know where I come from, but I haven't been through that experience. I'm one of the lucky ones from my family that hasn't. I don't have that experience. So, you know, I can sit there and preach to my sister or someone else. They're just going to go, that's great. What story have you got to give me where you've been through this? You haven't. Where someone like you, you've got it. You've got that chip on your shoulder that you're going to get rid of, you want to get rid of, and you want to sort of push other people the right way, not the way that I probably would. You know, I'd be like, oh, don't do that shit, whatever. Where you'd go, look what you're doing. I've done that. It doesn't go here or wherever, and then you'd have a better sort of path to push them to. I think that's something to be, you know, admired, because there's no one doing it. Like I can't think of anyone at the moment, especially in Tassie.
No, definitely. Like on the mainland, there's kind of they're trying to bring more lived experience,
Yep.
but no one in Tassie's doing it, man. No one's doing what I'm doing. They either go to rap or they go to something else kind of thing when they've lived that kind of life. But yeah, no one's kind of doing. Not hyping myself up, but I don't think no one's doing it, man. I've
No.
really put myself out there. I really have, and I didn't know it was going to be like this. I really didn't. I didn't know it was going to explode like this. You know, the Examiner put me on the front page of the paper and podcasts and running events, man. If I thought I was going to do this fucking 12 months ago, man, I would have laughed. Everybody else would have laughed. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, 2 years ago, I was locked up in a bloody cell, man. You know, it's crazy.
Well, that's where we'll get up to. You've got this event coming up on November 1st down here in Hobart. What can people expect?
Cool. So, look, I just want it to be a very safe place for everybody, for the youth, not just the homeless, too, the community. You know, it's all going to be free. It's fully free. Everything there is free. No selling merch, nothing like that. It's going to be a fully free event. Like I said, I think we've got 6 rappers now. Um, we got the youth speaking, we got the free hairdresser doing free cuts, the graffiti artist. It's going to be a really good day. We've actually got a rapper, Hermit. He's going to be doing a writing workshop, so a music workshop, so if some of the youth, and I've actually had 2 youths, man, go, yeah, I really love rapping, man. Want to learn more, so that's really cool for them. It's a positive outlet instead of fucking being in jail and doing nothing, so that's what I kind of want to do, man. Just bring the youth together, get them off the streets, get them there for a few hours, something to do. you know, and not just that too, like especially the community can actually see what's going on, you know, and I know a few people that are not even from that life are coming to this event, you know, and hopefully that gives them a bit of inspiration too to knowing what's actually happening in Tassie, man. Because it's starting to get even worse, man. It's starting to get even worse, especially around Glenorchy and stuff like that too. The stuff we
Yeah,
hear,
man.
yeah,
We see
it's
it.
not good.
You
Mm.
know, people at most of the time it is affliction. It's people are stuck on, medication and stuff like that. It's not always street shit either, as we know. Prescription
Right.
drugs, all sorts of shit. It could be
Yeah,
alcohol.
definitely.
And it drives people to lose their mind.
Yeah,
You've spoken of your story. We've heard other stories. I've seen it myself. Um, these things are happening, and having events like this one, I think, will bring people out and it might give people the opportunity to talk about what's happening to them if they haven't had that chance, and you might even prevent stuff. Who knows? But
yeah,
it's a big thing. It's not happening anywhere else down here. There's not much else happening that does bring in not just youth but troubled people. As you said, there's going to be all sorts of people there. It's not going to be just youth. It'll be hopefully we'll get, there's a lot of homeless people in Hobart now. When I grew up, and probably you could vouch to this too, I don't remember seeing anything like we do now. We didn't see tents in the middle of the city, and that's where
no,
they are. They're all over the place. And these guys, it's hard enough to get a house, let alone if you've got these other issues, they're not going to give you shit. And um, they haven't got these choices, so they're making the best of it. And I think having an opportunity to bring some of those people out, and they might feel game enough to come up and talk. You've met some of these sorts of people. I've met them when I've been out walking. As you know, I walk all the time, and sometimes I walk all hours of the bloody day and night. So you'll see these people out, and some of them, for probably the right reasons, don't want to talk, keep to themselves, and you got others that do, but people are fucking terrified of them, so they don't, have that chance to communicate and see that they can do some other stuff. And who knows, man, like having this opportunity, they might be able to get themselves out of whatever predicament they're in as well. So I see a
exactly.
lot more to it. So have you named the event?
Uh Street Unity Jam.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're all just gonna unite and have a jam kind of thing, just good vibes, music, free food, free haircuts. Yeah, just enjoy the day and hopefully somewhere, it takes off somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like hopefully it goes well. I can take it to Launceston because I do have a lot of services in Launceston that do back me already.
Yep.
So yeah, I really hope it can just get bigger and bigger over time. It's even getting bigger now. I didn't expect some hair salon lady, from Risdon Vale go, hey, I'm going to do free haircuts at your gig. I'm like, yeah, sweet. You know, it's the community. That's what community is about, man. It's awesome.
It's true. So you've got a few rappers. People will know a handful of them. Do you want to go through them a little bit there? If you've got to open anything up, I'll let you do it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I will. I've just put another one on today, so yeah, so I've got Dundee, of course. He's pretty
nice.
big in the scene. I got Ruboy, um, Josh Imber, Dispraz, and MCB. He's going to be pretty cool. He's actually a youth himself, next
Nice.
upcomer in Tassie. So it's going to be really good. Same as Ruboy too. His stuff's really bloody starting to pop off. I really like him. And he's
Yeah.
actually, I just want to give him a shout out too, man, because he's actually doing a youth event too, man. Nothing like kind of like mine, but it's just a full hip hop gig. So yeah, big shout out to him too. He's trying to do something too.
Yeah. So I don't know if Rob's met him, but obviously, as you know, I know Ruboy. We'll
Yeah,
say his name. It's Dallas.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he's put himself out there. When he started rapping, he jumped straight into the deep end, and he's been on heaps of events, and it's all from pushing himself and putting himself out there, which is exactly what you're doing. And it's the only way you can get these things happening. If you sit on the sideline forever, and we've all had anxieties and don't want to take part in stuff and all that sort of thing. And the only way to get past that is to just jump straight in the deep end, and it doesn't get much deeper than what you've jumped in, man.
Oh, man, there's a good saying I like actually. I learned when I first was in recovery, when I was actually in recovery, feeling comfortable in uncomfortable positions. So literally like making yourself go into uncomfortable positions. And after a while, you kind of just get used to it. You know,
True.
it's crazy. Yeah.
We should mention, so the event's on November 1st. I believe it starts at 12 o'clock and runs through to 4. Where is it?
Culture Park. So at the skate park in North Hobart.
Up near Elizabeth College there.
Yeah, it's called West Bowl, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an old school skate park in Hobart. Apparently, there's been events there in the past. It's pretty known apparently. So yeah, I
Yeah, a
thought
lot of
I'd hit.
the hip hop battles I think have taken place there. So probably Dundee's probably
Yeah,
been there a shitload of times, and Greeley and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
My housemate for that matter as well. He's done
yeah.
all that sort of stuff. So
Well, I kind
uh,
of wanted it there, man,
yeah,
just to keep
it's
keep the culture there.
and it's a central spot too. It's a main part of North Hobart, and so many kids go there because of the skate park and because of the hip hop scene, I guess, and graffiti scene. There's a shitload of that up that way too.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, all right. So I guess we'll leave people with that, but we'll mention again that it is free. There's no cost here. This is free. There's going to be free haircuts, workshops for writing, graffiti, and you're going to get to hear some fucking sick new rappers, some older ones. We won't call Dundee old, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome, man. It's all for the streets, bro. It's gonna be sweet.
It's true. All right, we appreciate what you're doing, man. And we'll keep an eye out for the Launceston one too when you start working that out. And once you do, we might get you back on. You can have a talk about it and sort of, mention anything else that you haven't. We've mentioned a hell of a lot in a couple of minutes here, man. It's pretty crazy. And your
It's a big
story is a
story,
lot
but
bigger
yeah.
than that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
No
Really
worries
do.
at all. All right, this has been Thomas for waranta, kani, mapali. Have a good one.